Whoa. Today we are unboxing and testing the Linklan eSIM 5G Hotspot. I've been really excited. I've been looking at this box for a minute and just really fired up to open this thing up and try it out. What I love about eSIM is you don't need to deal with the little physical SIM cards. You don't need to go to the store or order one from Amazon. You can just use a QR code and download it to your device. Now, I've used eSIMs in the past for a few different things. I travel pretty frequently for family and occasionally for work. And I have my AT&T iPhone and I make payments on that, which means it's not unlocked. So if I travel somewhere that's included in my plan, it's free. So Canada, Mexico, a lot of Latin America, my AT&T phone just works. Don't have to think anything about it. But if I go somewhere overseas, then it doesn't work unless I pay AT&T like $10 or $12 a day, regardless of how much I use, which is crazy. And so what I end up doing, this is a long story, sorry about that, but what I end up doing is I've gotten my old iPhone XS Max, and I keep this around for travel. And this is the first iPhone model that accepts eSIMs. And so I've been using eSIMs now for several years, several different trips, several different continents, in fact. And I've had really good luck with some of them in terms of the service providers, and then not as good luck as others. But typically what we do is we'll take this phone, and then my wife has her phone, I have my phone. We will turn on the eSIM on this phone and then do the personal hotspot, and then we'll share it to the other devices, and then sometimes the tablet as well. And we'll use that mostly for like Google Maps, like navigating and researching while we're out on trips traveling. So we're not watching videos, we're not really scrolling social media. Occasionally we'll post because you can't just use a ton of data. The data is expensive. But the biggest problem with this is this phone dies really quick. It's not because it's old, it's just like it's just really inefficient with the battery. And the other thing that I don't like about it is that I have to turn this phone on and unlock it and then reactivate the hotspot pretty frequently. It doesn't just automatically let my other phones, even my other iPhones, connect to it. And so what I'm hoping from this device is, first of all, several different eSIMs all at once. That sounds amazing. And then what I'm hoping for is longer battery life, and then just, I don't want to have to think about it. It's about the size and weight of a phone. It's actually smaller than my old iPhone XS Max. Take a look at this. It's not very big at all. And then let's see what else we have in the box. So foam. Cool, very elegant and yet very simple presentation. Let's get this out of the way. So we do have instructions, and as always, if you follow the channel, we set those aside for emergencies only. And then the only other thing in the box is a USB-A to USB-C charger. So let's look over the device here. I can see that it's got a nice LED screen or LCD screen right here. And on this side, it's got a power button and an M button. That must stand for mode. On the other side, it looks like we've got either a reset button or maybe a microphone on the bottom, just a small hole. I've got a USB-C, presumably for charging. And then it looks like we actually have a SIM card slot here as well for a physical SIM card. And so we may test that out today as well. Let's close that back up and let's hold down the power button and see if that fires up the device here. Here we go, Linklan. Man, I'm so looking forward to this, you guys. It's a really nice screen. I didn't think that it was going to have such high resolution. It's not boxy or pixelated or anything. It's color. I can see orange and black and white. It's really cool. So that didn't take very long at all to boot up. And you get to this first screen and it says install eSIM. It looks like we've got about 56% battery life. That's perfect for what we're doing today. So it's not a touch screen. That's cool because then we can just put it in our pockets. I like that. And I'm just hitting the M button right here, cycling through. So we started with install eSIM. If we press it here, it comes to a QR and with an SSID for logging into Wi-Fi, I assume. And then here it's carrier. It says no service, APN, tells us up bandwidth, down bandwidth, and then how many gigs we've gone up and down. And then this says scan QR code. Okay, so let's go back over to power up the screen, hit the power button here. It just says install eSIM like it did before. We're gonna browse through to here, the SSID. We're gonna scan that in. It does tell you the info as well. And the Wi-Fi key is 1234567 8. It's interesting that it shares a Wi-Fi key with every other device I have. Just kidding. Okay. So we scan that in, and now we should be able to go to Wi-Fi here, and it's trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. Great. Okay, so after taking a look at making sure that we can connect to the Wi-Fi, I turned the Wi-Fi on my phone back off, and I brought up the QR code on the 4th page here, and it just says scan QR code. I want to see what scanning this QR code is going to do for us. Okay, and it's the setup guide. Power on, SIM card mode. That's awesome. Tells you a little bit more about the device. And then for eSIM mode, there is an app that we need to download. So we're going to hit download that app, and we're going to get set up. Linklan, wherever you go. Awesome. We're going to open up that app, and it's going to ask for allowing, and then a tip. Agree. Cool. And then always connected. Let's hit continue. And so on the app here, it looks like they sell eSIMs based on the country, different prices, and that's really, really great. And then they do regional and local just through the website here. And I think that that's really, really cool. I'm going to take a look around the app a little bit more. So it looks like there's an order page where you can log in and view your current eSIM. There's a device page, and I'd like to see the device page because I want to log into our device. So right here, it looks like we're going to need to create an account. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now that we're logged in, we can add a device. So please enable Bluetooth and location services. Okay, cool. So I found our device. We're going to hit connect here. Boom, we're in. So here in the Linklan app, now that we've added our device, at the bottom, I'm going to tap eSIM, and we're going to go to United States because that's where we're at. We're going to tap that, and it is $1.50 for 1 GB plan for the day. We're going to just go ahead and try that out just for testing the device. We're going to tap buy. Apple Pay. This is really fast. Apple Pay is really quick because I just tap it twice. Boom, and then here we go. So for $1.50, it's going to be perfect for our testing purposes. And it's really important to test eSIMs before you're away from connectivity. So if you're stuck on Wi-Fi at an airport, probably the worst time ever to work on installing an eSIM. It's really nice to work with somebody that can do that before you leave home. So we're going to install that here, get it all set up on the device, test it out. Great, and so we're going to tap use now. Install to Hotspot. Are you sure? Yeah, let's do it. And it's going to go ahead and load the eSIM into our hotspot right now, so we don't have to do any real work. Yep, let's go ahead and confirm that we'd like to use carrier. Success, there we go. And I've got my Linklan up right here in my hand. Oh, here we go. On the top of the screen here, I just saw 5G pop up with all the bars up there. Nice, what's gonna happen now? Carrier, T-Mobile. APN's already loaded up. It looks like we're connected. Let's use our phone to connect to the hotspot. Okay, Wi-Fi says it's connected, great. Let's go to speedtest.net. Now, Speedtest used quite a bit of data, and if we're on a 1 GB plan here, we might just smoke through our data with one test. I just do want to show this screen while we're testing. So I'm going to hold this screen up. It shows our bandwidth up and down. I'm going to hit go, just automatic server, and then let's test this SIM card out. Let's test out the device. What? Very nice. I was thinking this was going to be like 100 megabits a second. Dude, 650, 640? That's insane for like a little pocket held device. That's really, really cool. I am digging this. Uploads really fast too. Oh my gosh. Uploads 105? That's really insane. I need to confirm that I'm connected to the right device here. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it says at the bottom here, iPhone 16 Pro Max, it says Telna. My other would be T-Mobile because that's my home internet, but I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is connected to MiFi, this device here. That's crazy. That's like as fast as my 5G from T-Mobile here at the house. That's awesome. Well, that was really easy to set up. I'm actually blown away at how quick and simple that was. I love it. How easy is it to connect to another device? Let's wait for it. MiFi. Cool. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't forget it. Okay. Connecting. Okay, so I did notice, just side note here, I think for our test, a 1 gigabyte plan might not have been enough because we're already at 1.01 gigabytes according to the device here. So another thing I want to see is how easy is it to top off our plan now that we've gone through our 1 gig of data. So we're not just testing the device, we're also testing the data plan that they provide. And so one thing I want to check out is how easy is it to top off our eSIM now that we've already gone through a full 1 gigabyte of data. Oh, we probably need to connect to the internet here. So we're going to turn off Wi-Fi because we're going through this. We can see that our eSIM is activated, view eSIM. I highly recommend, once you're low on data on an eSIM, topping off before you actually run out, just in case you don't have cell service or Wi-Fi service nearby. So let's go ahead and hit renew. Apple Pay comes up again. Cool. We'll just hit buy. Double tap for Apple Pay. Boom. Quick, easy, painless. That was fast. Okay. Very nice. Now we'll tap. We've got 2 gigs remaining. So I think that this maybe has a big delay between what we actually ran through and then what this page is going to show in terms of the data that we used. But it does show that now we have 2 gigs total. And then our screen here showed that we went through 1 gig, 1.01 total. You can see that right there. And so anyways, it sounds like we're already installed here. And oh, I didn't touch anything else. YouTube just loaded up on this screen. It was kind of sitting there for a second, and then while we were topping off the SIM, and now it just came right up. So let's hit view channel for Consumer Tech with Joe. Go to videos, and then I want to test playing a video. I just want to see how well it's going to work. So let's test this 5G.
Upwork puts the world's
video,
best freelance talent
we've got
right at
ads.
our fingertips.
So let's skip the ad. Today we're unboxing and testing out the brand new gateway from T-Mobile for 5G home internet. Cool. Can we watch a video on this and this at the same time? Let's just try it. So we got an ad on this one. While that ad is cycling through, I'm going to hit play on this one, and then I'm going to fast forward way through.
So this is the
wire right here. So I know that it's got to reload. A window just for turn this down. This isn't where this device where the gateway is normally going to sit, and so I had to reroute things for the window here. And okay, so they're both playing no problem. Awesome. That's what I really wanted to check. We did, and then I'm going to do my best. In the also, another big concern of mine that I wanted to check is we're only going to stop these videos from playing. We don't need to burn up more data just for the sake of burning up data. But one thing I want to mess around with is what's this device going to do out in the real world? On the road, multiple devices trying to connect. We're trying to use Google Maps. We got kids in the back trying to play Minecraft and maybe stream music. What's that going to look like when we have 2, 3, 4 different devices? How is it going to look if I hop out of the car for a minute on a road trip out in Europe? I go to pump fuel, I go to use the restroom, I come back, my phone's in my pocket the whole time, and then boom, do I gotta mess with it for it to reconnect to the Wi-Fi? Or is it just gonna work? So we're going to get out next, do some real world scenario testing of this device, and it's obviously got a really fast data connection, which is awesome. I'm excited about that. It was cheap as well, set it up really quickly. How is this device going to perform in a real world scenario? Because we're not just a laboratory here. Where you live, we've got a life, we go out, we do things all the time, and we're going to see what that's like. So let's go. Okay, so we've done some extended testing on the eSIM 5G router from Linklan, and gotta say, I really like it. Some of the features that I like the most are when I plug it in, I can see how much charge it has left as it's charging. It'll also charge while it's turned on, which is cool, but it went over 24 hours at one point without being charged, and it still worked. You can see Linklan right there. Once I initially set up the Wi-Fi to connect my devices to the Linklan, which was super quick and easy, as you guys saw earlier in the video, my devices just connected to it, and I didn't have to think with it. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to mess with it. I left this in the camper van, and we would run into the store, run back out, and the phone that was in my pocket would automatically reconnect. I didn't have to think about it or mess with it or do anything at all. And this device just stayed on, powered up, and the 5G signal was really good the whole time. It actually kind of surprised me. Let's take a look here. My cell phone uses AT&T, but the eSIM that we set up here in the Linklan uses T-Mobile's network. And it's nice to have the option of a different network. It stayed fast everywhere that we went until, of course, we left cell service at one point and it wouldn't work anymore. But as soon as we drove back into cellular service, it worked great. Long battery, it's very light and small. I just stuck it up in the dash of the camper van, and I also tried it out in the car a little bit too. And it just works really, really well. So I'm definitely pleased and looking forward to getting more use out of this. That's one of the things that I like the most about this, is it just tells you when it's connected to 5G. I really love that. And then in the corner up here, you can see right now I have 0 Wi-Fi devices connected to it, but you can see how many devices are connected to it. So at one point we had, I think, 5 different devices plugged into this, and it just flies. It just works really, really great. Another thing that I did test was changing eSIM in the app, and that went really, really quick too. So let's take a second to talk about who this device is for. If you travel internationally or somewhere that your phone isn't going to work without spending an arm and a leg to make it work, this could be a great addition to your travel bag. When I was testing my phone out with the Linklan, I actually turned the cellular data on my phone off, which would force the phone to run through this, and it worked really, really great. I don't know, it's just, I like a device that I don't have to think about. It just works, and this just really works. So I'm excited to take it on a trip. I am leaving the country soon on a trip. I plan to test it on that as well. And I'm gonna, as part of that test, I'm gonna have to load an eSIM onto the device before I leave home and get it ready for the country I'm gonna visit, just to make sure it's gonna work well. In the Linklan app, I have the option of purchasing a regional SIM that will work from country to country. It'll work for a handful of different countries. And I'm looking forward to trying that because I shouldn't have to change eSIM or reload when I'm crossing into another country or connecting to another country's towers. If I do happen to visit a country where I need to change the eSIM altogether, it's not that big of a deal. It does take a few minutes to activate, I noticed, 5 to 10 sometimes before it really kicks in and before I can start using the internet. But in the grand scheme of things, that's not a big deal. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you got anything from today's video, please like and subscribe down below. And if you'd like to learn more about the Linklan eSIM 5G hotspot, click the link in the description below and you can learn all about it.